You gave Jack the turtle?
I did give Jack the turtle. It was only appropriate.
He's the turtle guy?
Only right. Oh, yeah, he's the turtle guy. Yeah.
Every class seems to have its own personality. How would you describe the personality of the senior class heading into senior day?
I'd say it fluctuated over time, but I think it'll end up being that we're a bunch of hard workers, guys that care. And, I mean, that's for everybody else to determine, I guess, and the coaching staff to determine how we'll be remembered. You know, we only control that by how we work, how the season ends up. And it'll definitely, because, you know, however the season ends up, that's going to be reflective of how hard we worked and how much we prepared and everything. So I don't think it's set in stone yet, but weeks to come, I hope that we'll be remembered as hardworking and guys that really cared.
That day after the Gator Bowl, y'all are 6-7, the first losing Ohio State team since '88. How deep was that hole you guys were in, and are you surprised as a group of seniors going out that y'all haven't lost a game since then? I mean, just how far have you come? That's about 6 questions in a row.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, just,
No, I hear you. Yeah,
talk about the ride, I guess.
It's been one heck of a ride. Just a lot of stuff thrown at us. For the guys that made it through and for the guys that stuck it out, it's, you know, through everything, through the ups and downs, it's absolutely been worth it. And coming from that moment, it's just we're a whole nother world away. There's a lot of things that went into that. There's a lot of reasons why we were 6-7 and why we're undefeated now. And but regardless, I think that we've done nothing but work hard and earn to the spot.
What was the darkest moment, the deepest part of the hole? I mean, describe. I mean, where did y'all come from, in your opinion? You understand what I'm saying? What was the worst part?
Probably losing to the team up north. Because after that game, everybody was kind of just, you know, like, man, we haven't lost to these guys in forever.
Yeah.
There was two classes, I think, that went through and never lost.
Yeah.
And after the Gator Bowl, it was kind of, you know, like, we didn't. I don't think anybody really wanted to be at the Gator Bowl, and obviously that wasn't our expectation going into the season back in January of 2011. But regardless, I'd say that was the darkest moment of that season.
Is it amazing you're sitting here now, though? You're, like I said, you're riding a 22-game win streak. Y'all can be the longest win streak in history, which is, I don't know if that gives you goosebumps, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of cool. And you're playing for Urban Meyer, and I mean, is it weird to you how things flipped?
Yeah, it is crazy. It's not surprising though, because of how hard we've worked. But things like the win streak and clinching the leaders division and you know, all this, it's a lot of pressure on you, and to think about that stuff and concentrate on that stuff, it produces nothing but anxiety and stress. So, you know, week in and week out, really, I know it sounds cliche, and I said it before, but it's a one-game season every week for us, and we've done nothing but prepare like that all week or all year, and you know, that's truly been a huge part of why we're undefeated at this point.
Does that win streak resonate at all, though? I mean, in 100 and whatever years of Ohio State football, 23 would be the longest.
Yeah, I mean, after we get it, yeah, it will. But right now, I mean, I didn't even, honestly, like 2 weeks ago, I didn't even know what our record was. I think I'm being completely honest, and I think there was a feeling on the team too that, you know, what are we, 7-0, 8-0? It doesn't really matter because all we have to do right now, all we can control is the next opponent. So, you know, at the end of this game, if we get this win, then that'll be a heck of an accomplishment. But right now, you know, we're just focusing on beating Indiana because Indiana doesn't really care about our win streak.
And the O-line's been a huge part of it. I mean, Coach Meyer goes as far as to say, you guys are the catalyst of the team. I mean, it's got to make you feel good. You guys are, like, you know, arguably like the best part of this great team.
Definitely, it does. When you get praise like that from the head coach, it gives you a lot of confidence. And but Coach Warner, I can tell you right now, he's going to keep us level-headed. So that guy never lets up. And it's Coach Meyer gives us all the praise in the media and gives us all the praise after the game. But Coach Warner is the guy that really keeps us level-headed and keeps us working and grinding.
You guys are obviously putting up a lot of points and numbers offensively. What's the mentality when you get out there? You know, last week, all of a sudden, Illinois is scoring points. Do you feel a responsibility like we have to score when we get the football? And I ask that, too, because Indiana You know, they didn't last week, but they've been scoring pretty much on everybody. Do you as an offense go out in a game like this with a mentality we need to score a lot of points?
Yeah, I mean that's just innate in who we are, and every week we go out there thinking we got to score a lot of points regardless. You know, that's the goal of our offense. If it were to do something else, then we'd be focusing on that. But the primary goal of any offense is to score a lot of points, and our expectation is higher than a lot of other people's out there. And I mean, 60 to 35, we came off the field, and honestly, the feeling in the locker room was we didn't play good. And you know, in other programs across the country, that would be an amazing victory, and everybody'd say, "Oh, they put up 60 points. Look at that!" You know, defense, you know, but offense, you know, 60 points. But right now, I can tell you the offense's expectations were to score a lot more than 60, considering the way that we played.
What did you feel like you left on the field? I mean, there were a lot of 3 and outs.
Yeah.
I mean, is that what you were feeling?
A lot of 3 and outs, a lot of missed simple assignments. I didn't play a very good game. I could tell you, I could just speak for myself saying that. There were a lot of simple things that we didn't do right. There were a lot of, you know, I don't know how many passing yards we had at the end of the day, like 100, under 200, 150, yeah. So, I mean, that's, you know, our throwing game needs to get better. I know the win and everything, but nobody cares about the win at the end of the day. So, you know, there were a lot of mistakes that we had. I didn't play a good game. I know a couple other guys on the team that can say they didn't play a good game. And that's why we feel that way.
Corey, what was it like in the third quarter, though, like when it's 35-21 and it's all of a sudden a little bit of a ball game, you guys are a third-ranked team in the country, expected to go kind of handle business. What was the feeling like in the huddle on the field? What were you guys
Just we got to score. I don't think we ever felt like that game was out of control or that we were going to lose that game. Maybe part of that was because of our expectation going into the game was to win it, and we weren't surprised that we were up that much, but we went back to our old ways and sort of let up going into halftime and and in the third quarter. So the feeling was we just got to score. We just got to get back in our groove, and I don't think we were ever anxious or feeling stressed at any point. So.
Don't take this the wrong way, but you're probably never going to be in a beauty contest, but you are right now. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah, I hear
mean, in one poll, Baylor went by you guys because their blowout win was considered better than y'all's blowout win, or whatever you want to.
Yeah, I hear you.
Y'all have to be paying attention a little bit to that. I mean, what is it like to be in the middle of that? I mean, to know that you're being judged not just by a 25-point win, but by how you looked and how you might look.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it. There's no lobbying we can do at this point to change the BCS formula. So the only thing we can concentrate on is, you know, how do we advance further in the BCS and how do we keep ahead of Baylor? That's just the reality. And how do we get to the national championship? That's our goals. That's the only thing we can control. That's really what we're focused on. And it is the way that it is. And so when we're disappointed by scoring 60 to 35, you know, we didn't cover whatever spread that we needed to score enough points to boost up our rating in the BCS. So that's another reason why we're disappointed and the way that we played, and because those, you know, it's reality.
Yeah, you know people are watching.
Exactly. Yeah.
What do you remember about last year's game against Indiana, Corey?
That it was. I remember being on the sideline for like the last 5 minutes. That, you know, the game just kind of dragged out, and I remember, you know, it's kind of interesting that Illinois last year really didn't fight at all to come back, and we just kind of blew them out. So I think that we thought they were going to do the same thing this year. But I think the Indiana game last year, and I think I'm safe in speaking on the defensive backs parts, and not just the defensive backs, but the whole defense, that that game is very prevalent in their mind. Very, very real, and they want to prove a statement. They want to make a statement when they go out there Saturday that, you know, we're not going to let that happen. You know, 52 points last year. We put up a good amount of points. I'm sure their defense is going to want to make a statement against us and not let that happen again. But our defense definitely has this game on their mind.
Was that game in any way? I mean, everyone talks about the Michigan State game being a turning point for you guys last year, but was the Indiana game in any way a turning point? Because it seems like, at least defensively, things a switch was flipped.
Yeah, definitely. I think for our defense, it was a turning point. I think Michigan State might have been the turning point for the team in terms of coming together and cohesiveness. But the defense kind of, I'm sure, felt good after holding Michigan State to 16 points last year and holding, when you put 63 points up against Nebraska, it's not, the offense is going to have a lot of opportunities. So the defense couldn't have felt that bad coming off the field. But in the end of the game, it's definitely something to prove, especially with their offense. Our offense is very good. They put up a lot of points on a lot of good teams. And that's their goal just as it is ours. And, I'd say last year was a turning point for the defense. I'm sure this year they're going to want to do the same thing.
Corey, with the way that Carlos and Braxton are both running the ball right now and the way you guys are blocking up front, how are defenses defending the read plays in the run game?
They're doing it pretty well. I mean, I don't want to go into the specifics and sound like an idiot, but from what I understand from our coaches, they're doing it pretty well. Purdue had a pretty good answer to some of our read game. We put up some good passing numbers against them because we were able to exploit them in certain areas. But Purdue and Illinois both had good answers to our read game and some of our zones that we like to hit. I remember not being able to get to the backer because he completely vacated his responsibility because he knew what we were going to do. And, I tripped up and coming off on the sideline, I'm on my face and Coach Meyer's yelling at me because I didn't get the backer. And, I'm thinking, how the heck did that guy beat me over there, But, they're starting to catch on to some of the things that we do best. And, that's only going to be a greater challenge to our offense and our offensive coordinators and, to come up with even more, a better game plan. Not a better game plan, but just like, answers to their answers,
I wanted to ask you about Carlos. We asked Jack this earlier. Two things, just the way he's running the ball right now, what's unique about him. And the other thing is that there are moments where he's getting a full head of steam and you all have your back to him and he might run into you, run over you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a specific story you remember of getting hit by him, what it felt like, what it must feel like for a defender to try to stop him? You can't even see him and he hits you. Any story that stands out to you?
I actually do. Sunday, we were in here going, shorts practice, and it was a post-game practice, and, we were all in there, and Sundays aren't a physical day, and I'm tired from the game, so, tired, well, we were on a bye week, but, we're going through, maybe it was 2 Sundays ago, regardless. We were in shorts, and no pads on, and I'm blocking this linebacker, and I'm, just trying to, fit him up, and because, nobody's got pads on, but Lowe's comes through and just smacks my back, and I'm like, what? I look behind me, and I'm like, who the hell just hit me? And Lowe's comes running through, and I'm like, what? I go up to him, I'm like, dude, you're going pretty fast. And he goes, yeah, man, I got to run. They see us running on film, and I went back to the huddle thinking, man, if that guy runs into me like that on a no pads day, what's it gotta feel like for a defender? And I just seeing all those guys bounce off of him sometimes, on the film, and him breaking all those tackles, it doesn't surprise me now, after getting hit behind in the shoulder from him. And so, I guess that's my story that I have. But, when you see Carlos break all those tackles, the guys just bounce off him because they're trying to arm tackle him. And, don't be surprised, that I guess, you guys are used to it watching him, but he's one tough, fast, big dude,
Jack said that he broke 2 of his ribs.
Oh, did he? Oh, yeah, he did, yeah. 2 years ago, yeah, at Nebraska. I remember that. I think it was Nebraska. But regardless, yeah, there you go.
Hey, Corey, just real quick, as an Ohio guy, Ohio State, Ohio Dominican, and Mount Union each have the longest winning streaks in their divisions in football.
Yeah.
Does that say anything about Ohio football, or what's something like that mean? Anything?
I guess. I mean, we have a lot of Ohio guys on our team. I'm sure they have a lot of Ohio guys on their team too. Play some good football in the state.
If you were down in the Southeast, would people make a bigger deal about it?
No comment.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.